So one of the references that people always ask for, one of the things people love the most is the sort of 60s iconic look, which is all about eyelashes and, you know, this sort of big dewy eye and a very naked mouth. I'm not going to do that chalky skin that it would have been in the 60s. It'll be updated, modern version of the Twiggy look. So I'm going to start off by putting a little bit of moisturizer on, just a fraction, because I'm going to make the foundation so light that we don't need moisturizer underneath, okay? So I'm going to gently rub this in. For that I use the Weekend by Chanel. They really nourish and they really feed the skin. They call the Weekend, there's 3 of them. There's a night, a day and a serum, and they're just great. So the next stage is using Blanc de Blanc by Chanel. This is like a very thin white product, which I'm going to use all over the face. Again, I'm not being precise, I'm just using my fingers just to work it all into the face, just to massage it into her skin. So now I'm going to use a little bit of concealer under the eye, directly under the eye, taking it down. I'm using a generous amount. You know that it's better to use too much than too little. I'm simply patting it into the skin. Also, the area around the eye is incredibly fragile, so you never want to pull it. There's so many great alternative products like CC creams and BB creams and like the primer that I've just used that really mean that you don't have to use heavy foundations. A lot of 60s makeup was about colour, and the best colours to use at that time were actually blues and greens. Right, so I'm going to start by using the pale sort of oyster colour under the brow bone. Just stroking it across the brow bone. I'm not going to take it any further down than that. And the other side. Then with the same brush, I'm going to use the pale green. So the whole effect of this makeup will be much less powdery and heavy than it would have been in the 60s. The effect will be lighter, brighter, and more dewy. So I'm using, a shadow brush that really does almost cover the entire lid, as you can see. It is not a small corner brush, it's not a small shadow brush. It's one of the biggest ones in the Chanel range. It's a great size, it's number 10, and it really is incredibly versatile, and you can use it for anything. Like we use it on the bone here, now we're using it on the entire lid. I'm now going to use a black liner pencil in the roots of the lashes. This is a really important part of the look. To really get into the roots, that is the most important part. And then take it up and lift it to the side a bit. There you go, just that gentle little line, which I'm now going to smudge in a minute when I've done the other side. It takes a lot of practice, and even for us seasoned makeup artists, it's not something you can do without really consideration. So now I'm going to blend this black line, just very gently. What I'm really doing is taking off the excess of black pencil on the eye. Here we go, just blending this black line. As you can see, it does make it softer. I'm all about sort of soft looks. I like the softness of makeup. Okay, can you see the difference, guys? Close, look down, you can see how this one is softer. What was also very big in the Twiggy's look in the 60s was actually painted lashes. So I'm now going to do that for you. I'm actually going to use a different technique for you. I'm going to use mascara with a small brush. So I'm taking black mascara from the tube. So I'm just going to paint lashes on the lower lid, underneath I'm going to get them smaller and shorter towards the inside corner. Now I've used mascara for this, which will dry and set. Having painted on the false eyelashes underneath, I'm now going to fill in with a black pencil, okay? So I'm taking the black pencil in the roots of the lashes underneath. So now you have that very intense black eye. Moving on, I'm going to use the same black pencil to draw a socket in the eye. And remember, this has to be almost a perfect half moon. And stop before you hit the end. Now I have my line to work with, I'm going to make it a bit thicker and heavier. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to blend this straight away. Okay, so I want it to be a little bit softer, but still with the definition, so I'm just going to blend it very gently, removing the excess of the black pencil and smudging it in a little bit. There you go. So the last step in this incredible eye is the mascara by Chanel, and it's called Inimitable. Get it right into the roots of the lashes. It does not matter if it's clumpy at all. I want the lashes an extension of her eye, sort of a natural extension rather than curling up. For me, that's just a more modern approach. If you want to curl them, that's fine, but I actually really love straight lashes for some looks. The smudgier, the better. So now we're moving on to the mouth. First of all, I'm using just a gentle balm just to moisturize her mouth, which also, because of this time of year, mouth can get very dry. Then I'm going to add concealer. So I'm going to put a little bit on the back of my hand and just pat it onto the mouth. And then just rub it in very gently. Taking it over the lip line. By putting on a balm underneath and then the concealer on top, I have brought out her natural lip line. So having created this completely neutral mouth with balm and concealer, I'm now going to add a tiny bit of colour in the very centre of the mouth. Open. This is such, again, this will add moisture and it will just lift the colour in the very centre. So there you go, here's your 60s inspired Twiggy look.